past and like your background.
Sure, good. Okay.
Originally, where did you attend university originally, and did you stay in the educational industry until you became a professor?
I actually, no, I had a very kind of tortured background. I actually came originally from the business world. I did my undergrad was in business, and then I did management consulting for a while. Um, but I realized that my interest really lay in teaching, and so I got back into English teaching. That was actually here in Taiwan back in the late 80s.
Oh, wow.
So after teaching here for several years, then I went back to the States, um, did a master's in and then did my PhD in linguistics and applied linguistics.
Nice.
And so I've been in academia, working in universities since about 1994. And most of that has been in the technology-related area. I worked for a couple of years at another university, educational technology courses in a college of education.
Nice.
And then I started at Clear, as I said, in 1996, and have been at Michigan State at Clear since then.
Nice, that's great. I saw you chose call for your dissertation. I was looking a little bit at that. So why did you
Mhm.
choose call for your dissertation in linguistics?
It's an area that I feel, of course, professionally and personally interested in, and so it made sense to try to capitalize on that interest. But also, it's an area that has a lot of area for growth, and there's a lot of interesting questions about it. Um, so it was just a way of killing several birds with the same stone. I could do some interesting research in an area that I thought was interesting and useful, as well as I was able to address areas that would be very difficult to do without call.
Nice.
I did perception and production, and there are a lot of perception studies, but it's very difficult to do production studies for a couple of reasons. Number one is that it's very difficult to collect the data,
Yeah.
and number two, it's difficult to analyze the data. But
Yeah.
if you're proficient with the computer, then you can do both. And so I was able to do um, a database study that probably not very many people are able to do, just because of the technical aspect of the research.
Yeah. Well, great. That actually answered one of my other questions. So that was my other question. Yeah. What are your specialties, and what makes you unique from other educators and
Yeah,
researchers?
there are a lot of people in the field who have an interest in technology,
Yeah.
um, but I, I consider myself as having come up through the trenches because I really got my start as a language teacher.
Yeah.
And so I like to keep things as practical as possible. And so I have um, less interest or less patience with the people that are only interested in the theoretical point of view. And the theory is good, and of course it's important. And doing that sort of abstract kind of research is useful, but it's useful for promoting the academic discipline and not necessarily useful to the teachers that are in the field um, actually working. So I consider myself to be sort of in between um, those two worlds, where I need to understand the theory,
Yeah.
but I also want to make sure that I keep it grounded in the practical aspects, and also because I'm not just doing scholarly activity with the technology. I'm very involved in the technology itself.
Yeah.
So it's not unusual for me to spend my morning reading journals and reading research articles, and then spend my afternoon programming.
Yeah, and that you get
And that's
perfectly.
something
Yeah,
that I
that's
think
exactly.
a lot of people are in that sort of between the two, in both camps, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I speak both the language of the academic and the language of the techno geek.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, yeah, kind of moving on, yeah, to the continuing developments. Like, how do you keep up?
If you're not moving forward with the technology, then you're moving backwards because the technology is always going forward. So it's important to keep up, and you do that by just you can't stop learning. There are always new things, and I got started in Flash version I think 3 or 4, and now of course we're up to whatever it is, CS4 or something. The main so that just goes with the territory. If you're going to be in technology, you got to keep current, unless you're a dinosaur.
Yeah.
And my particular area of interest with call is audio based things, audio recording.
Yeah.
So that's actually what got me interested in Flash, is the ability to easily distribute audio, and then later technologies allowed you to capture audio through the Flash plugin. So that opened up a lot of opportunities for development of useful materials as well as research.
So how about trends? And this is kind of the biggest part of the interview for me. A lot of my research has to do with trends.
The hot things right now are virtual worlds, things like Second Life, there.com. Those are the areas that are very interesting to academics because we're seeing a big crunch for space in universities. And so if we can go virtual, that's a good thing. As well as mobile cell phones. So the iPhone is the latest killer app.
Yeah, the iPhone's great for developing
it's
content.
Opened up a lot of areas of interest for a lot of academics.
What do you think's missing? So you've been talking a lot earlier about pedagogy. So kind of opening up these technologies to people, they can just develop content without, I don't know, background in pedagogy. Do you think there's a lot missing from developing e-learning right now?
Well,
it's getting so easy to create.
As the technology moves really forward really quickly, I think the user base is suffering from a lack of fundamental understanding of what the technology can do and what it can't do. As well as people are getting a little bit starstruck by the technology. They're seeing things that look really cool and adopting it without considering the backbone learning theory and practical applications of it.
Yeah. Just last part, some parting advice for someone like me. I'm kind of an aspiring, I don't know, educational technologist. I want to kind of get into call. You got any recommendations or advice for me?
Yeah, the important things are right now in our current economic and social climate are to be diverse. Call is great, technology is great, but you need to marry that with something else. And if you look at the job postings in higher education, you'll see that they want people that can do a variety of different things. So it's important to be cross-trained in this. And even within technology itself, to be cross-trained in multiple technologies. And that's probably the biggest piece of advice I can give you.
All right, Denny. Well, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy guy, so I'll let you go. I'll email you a transcript of this after I finish it, probably next week. Thank you so much.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Not at all. I got to run.
Okay, see ya. Bye.
All right, bye.